Awesome. Not really, but I guess we did. Didn't realize that.
Okay.
Okay. Jumping in. Okay. So, welcome everybody. Let me just close my door real quick.
Oh, yes. Happy Thursday.
Thursday. Hi. It's been a long one,
Yeah.
huh?
Same
Okay.
here.
We're
I'm
here.
sh-
A lot of stuff this week, huh?
uh well, yeah, just been in bed with the flu. It's been fun. Not really.
No, of course not.
Not really. It's been terrible. But here I am.
Hmm.
We've got a lot to discuss.
Yeah, we've got a really good topic. It's actually we're extending last week's topic to trust to this week, and I think there might be even another part three to it.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Mhm.
My tea, the yogi tea, how it always has a something on the other side. It said, which is totally fitting, the unknown is where all outcomes are possible. Enter it with grace. And I'm like, we just talked about that last week, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. It's like, oh,
You
it
can
knew.
I love it when you can't like you wouldn't have found that on purpose. You know what I mean?
Right. My my hair's in.
Right.
I took a shower this morning, washed my hair, but it hasn't dried yet. Anyways,
Grace. It's all grace.
yep, exactly. Doing the best. Doing. Hey, at least I'm up,
I know. I know.
and I have a smile. There we go.
I know. Uh, yeah. It's like there's positive and negatives to saying fake it till you make it, right? But when you're sick, it's like, okay, I can put makeup on to make myself feel better, but you're still like,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and a shower always helps, of course, but then it's like the second steps of doing your hair is like a whole other level.
Exactly. Yeah, that wasn't about. Well, I didn't have
No.
time there, but
Yeah, exactly.
I still had to get kids to school. I'm
Hmm.
trying to figure out. Sorry, trying to figure out where to move, where to put my phone so I'm visible. But anyways,
Hmm. Well, we can
any
get started. Are you ready
okay.
for okay. All right. So again, part two with on trust, um, which is the quiet foundation of everything. It really is.
Ooh.
Uh, and it's, I mean, we'll go into it, but there's many aspects of it, right? Trust yourself, trust other people, trust God, the universe, whatever it is on your path. It's just it's a big topic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going um deeper into why trust is hard, right? Why trust is hard, how
mhm,
we lose it with ourselves and how we rebuild it through um
little things, small
small
steps.
actions. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Good.
And it
Okay.
sounds simple. Oh, just trust the process. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah. Right. Right. And how often do we hear the phrase trust yourself like all the
Hmm.
time, and
Hmm.
but what is that? But that's really hard when you're facing fear or uncertainty or a really big decision. So what does that really
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
you know?
Exactly. It's not it's something we have or we don't, right? It's something we have to practice and something we have to rebuild sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Mhm.
so I guess we should dive in, right?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Okay. So, what are some ways that we don't trust ourselves? Like what are some things that happen that, keep us from doing it and then keep us stuck and lost?
Hmm. Um, well, just sometimes ignoring like your deeper intuition or your deeper sense. Um, starts to erode your trust in
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm. Or and second guessing yourself and looking for the external validation
Hmm.
of, am I doing this right? Is this, did I say that right? All those things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Um, Breaking promises to ourselves.
Mhm.
I think that's super common for um, even little promises like I'm gonna go to the gym this week or
Oh,
every day
yeah.
this week, or I'm gonna get up early or I'm gonna um not, when you're having goals and I'm not gonna drink coffee this or soda
Yeah.
this week or whatever,
Right, right, right. Little yeah, exactly, little things, and then you get that moment and you're like, "But it just sounds so good. I have to
right.
do it." And then you're like, "Well," so you can either approach it with grace and like, "Yeah, I effed up, whatever,"
Yeah.
or, "And tomorrow's a new day and I'll do better," or just like, "You know what? Why should I give it up? I don't know." But the point is like, the growth is a process. It's little baby steps. Maybe giving up coffee isn't gonna be the one that you succeed at. Try something else.
Right, right. Because when you set those goals and you are breaking promises to yourself, which is
Mhm.
it actually does erode your trust in yourself.
Mhm.
And so keeping those commitments and those promises, would be the opposite of that, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but we're talking about ways that we erode our self-trust. So yeah, that's one of them. What are some other ways?
Oh, fear of judgment.
That's a big one.
Every time we do a YouTube, we're getting judged.
Yes. It's true.
What we forge on. Yeah, I mean, it's and you put yourself out there even to, give somebody a smile on the street and they don't respond back. It's like, oh well. Going up and meeting or just standing in line at Starbucks or whatever and just, tapping somebody on the shoulder and just like, "Hey, how are you today?" You're going with the gut thing, and then if they respond or they don't respond, it's not life ending. It shouldn't create doubt on who you are as a person, but sometimes it does.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're already having those conversations of self-doubt and trust and you're trying to put yourself out there, meet people or whatever, yeah, it can be challenging.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. And also like if you've tried to do the same thing before or something similar before and it didn't work out, so you start to lose trust in yourself and your decisions or maybe your ability to execute certain things.
Mhm.
So then you get that self-doubt and start to second guess everything.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Perfectionism,
Yeah.
that's a rough one because then that also creates procrastination, which is just this terrible cycle of
Yeah. Yeah.
yuck. Yeah. Mhm.
Right. So, and so sometimes we stop trusting ourselves because we're afraid of making the wrong decision,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
which which is similar to that perfectionism, right? Everything has to be perfect before we move forward, but we don't. We'll talk about this, but we don't always. It's not. That's unrealistic in
Mhm. Yeah.
many ways.
Exactly, and then avoiding decisions just creates hesitation and shame and guilt and all that stuff, it's
Mhm.
just it really is like that spiral.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure, for sure. And I think, yeah, I think it's really important to notice, like we talk about awareness all the time. So just notice these ways in which you're not trusting yourself. These maybe little these I'm like having trouble speaking. These uh,
Sorry.
these little examples that we're giving, you probably, hopefully they relate to somebody that,
Mhm.
you know, you have something
Yeah.
and we'll try and help you
I mean,
get through
it
this.
grows through trust grows through experience and just constantly putting yourself out there.
Mhm.
It's hard, you know,
Yeah.
it's hard because then you've built the story. I'm gonna get shut down. You know, they're not gonna listen to me, or
I'm gonna fail.
you know,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I'm gonna fail. I'm not gonna say the right thing at the right time. You know,
right.
somebody's gonna be upset with me.
Yeah, I've messed this up
Mhm,
before and
mhm,
I
mhm,
don't trust that I'm gonna do it right this time.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I think it's really hard. Um, you know, personally, like I struggled with this when I started when I made my career change to being a to teaching, to being a professor,
Yeah,
like getting up in front of other people and speaking on a topic is like really hard. And in the beginning, like sometimes I didn't do it right. You know, they would ask me questions and I was like, oh man, what if I answered like in that moment? It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna answer this proper like correctly. And
yeah.
what if I screw this up? And, you know, all the fear, right? That fear
Mhm.
you know, and so it was very hard for me to get past that, like just trust that I probably, you know, with my experience, I probably do know all the answer, like the answer. And if I don't, it's okay to admit that, which was
Right.
really hard in the beginning to admit that, you know, I didn't know something, you know.
I can only imagine, yeah. Because you are there teaching them,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And you know it. It may be the nerves or the fear
Yeah.
of messing up spiraled it into something nervous and
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes they would ask things that were maybe irrelevant or maybe something I hadn't thought of. And, you know, it's like, my goodness, it's like um so scary. You know, I wanted like I wanted a guarantee that I was gonna be able to know everything, you know, but it was very fearful. I was very scared. And I kept and the more as time went on, like it was, you know, it's like sometimes harder in the beginning to be like, no, just you'll get through this. And until you start trusting yourself and you start trusting the process and you start trusting that it's going to be fine whether you know the answer or you don't or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
um you know, so like the whole thing, fear wants guarantees. Like I wanted to guarantee that I would know all the answers to everything, but
Mhm.
you know, not having all the answers is that uncertainty, that level of uncertainty, and you just have to, I don't know.
Which can tie into perfectionism. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what if I don't have the answer? You know, I'm not perfect.
Right. Mhm.
But I wanna be, you know, I wanna have all the answers. I wanna be the best professor I can possibly be. I wanna be the best manager that I could possibly be. I wanna be there for my staff. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you can tie that into so I mean, I think any type of leadership position or
Mhm.
even just a new
A new
position.
position. Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. It's I always say that, the job that I'm in right now, it was a very humbling experience coming from the background of being a director and then coming into a whole new position and learning a whole new job
Yeah.
role and guidelines and yeah, it was rough. It was really rough. But it
Yeah.
was good, you know?
Right, but it's like a process of um letting go of that need, right? That need
Yeah.
to be like good and what do you just say?
Right.
Like
Perfect, a
perfect.
good, I'm a good employee,
Yeah.
I know all the answers. I
Yeah.
did at my other job. Now I'm like
Right.
starting from ground zero going, I don't know, I have to look that up. I don't know, I have to look that up. Who can I talk to? What search do I need to do to find the answer?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard. So you know, Tony Robinson says uh he's
Tony Robbins, yeah.
yeah, what did I say? See, my brain is not all there.
You're
I'm so
you're
sorry.
you're you're cold medicine.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Tony Robbins. Um, says like I'm probably gonna botch this too, but it's about like the level of happiness of your life is about the amount of uncertainty you can handle.
Ooh,
Right,
yeah.
because really a lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis and especially with growth and personal development and moving forward in your life has a lot to do with uncertainty. And if you're the type of person who's
Mhm.
very uncomfortable with that, you're going to be kind of miserable because it's going to keep you stuck.
Mhm.
That fear is what keeps you stuck. And so
Yeah.
trust is kind of accepting that uncertainty and moving forward. Um, that could be really risky.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, romantic relationships, right? That trust. That's
yeah,
risky.
yeah,
You're putting your heart out there.
s-
Um,
right. That's a big one
yeah.
too. Yeah,
Yeah. And then going back to being a professor, you're going to get reviews at the end, and
yeah.
you still get to trust yourself that you still did a good job, even though five out of 10 are saying you didn't, or whatever the
Yeah,
stats are.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so this is big. Well, when we think about we're so trusting the level of uncertainty, we're moving forward before we have proof that it's going to work out, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm,
It takes, there's a couple things, right? Trusting a vision. We have a vision,
mhm,
um, and being in alignment. And then it's
mhm.
also trust, like, again, that goes with trusting a vision of, is this who I want to be? Is this the leader I want to be? Is this the coach I want to be? And that alignment within yourself,
Yeah,
too. We're
yeah,
looking for the external to make sense and for the validation. But again, that's questioning who we are.
yeah,
Um, that doesn't lead to self trust.
right, right. Which opens up to being vulnerable, which a lot of people have a hard time being vulnerable. Right? Which I mean, vulnerability in itself is
Hard.
difficult. Yeah.
Hmm.
So in a relationship, as a
Hmm.
leader,
Hmm.
as a parent, being vulnerable and opening up is very foreign to a lot of us. And so but doing that creates it can help build trust in yourself and other people in you, um, which then
Yeah.
when other people trust you, it helps to increase your self-trust as well. So
I mean, letting people see the real you is what people want. We want connection. And I'm sorry, my dog just is barking and barking. I can't. Yeah.
I don't think I can't hear it, so I don't know.
Okay, good. All right. So we're all looking for connection, and we can all connect, right? We can all say hi every morning. We can wave to our neighbors, but the connection of deep, meaningful conversation and trusting that the other person wants or needs it too, well, you'll find out right away. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that that was a bad decision on your part. You know what I mean? So going back to self-trust and
Yeah.
just you cannot have an authentic relationship without being authentic.
Right. Right,
So you
right.
have you have to trust the other person, you get to trust yourself. Did I overshare? And then you could replay that story, that conversation over and over, but what's the point?
Right, right.
The things came out, whatever came out was supposed to come out. And if it
Yeah,
was uncomfortable when you think about it later, then so be it. Give yourself grace and move on.
right. Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Exactly. And allowing others to support you is
Mhm.
a whole different level of trust, but important if you're collaborating or if you're going through something in life, like whatever, just allowing people to support you and relying on those people again is vulnerable. um, it's kind of
Mhm.
scary.
Mhm.
And so but that really also reinforces that self-trust that you're doing what's best for you, or you're doing what's meant
Mhm.
for you, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
a yeah, it's like allowing others to um walk beside you, like that journey beside you.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we as coaches, we say that, like, trust us, right?
Mhm.
That we will share this with you. We will walk beside you in your journey and to help you along your path. And I think some people have a hard time with that at first, like letting go of that
Mhm.
control, because it's all
Mhm.
about control, letting go of that and letting others like support them.
Right, and then it also means then letting down that wall. It means, checking the ego out. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
No, let's not give the answer that we think people want to hear, or that you want to be able to say because it sounds better.
Yeah.
That's not authenticity, and that's not trusting who you are as a person, you
Right.
know.
Right. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
we talk about the negative part of trust, right?
Yeah.
How if we don't have it, how fear creeps in, how procrastination, perfectionism, all the yucky stuff that goes with distrust. Now we're going to talk about how to rebuild it.
Yeah. Yeah. Practical ways to help rebuild or build up your trust in yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I had mentioned earlier about the small promises, keeping small promises, and that's a big deal. And a lot of thought leaders will say this, like, so maybe we gave the example of, like, maybe your goal was to not drink coffee or soda or whatever. Maybe that's too hard right now, and every time you negate that, like, that goal that you had said, like, you go ahead and do it anyways, you're decreasing your self-trust, right? So now pick
Mhm.
something that maybe you can do and you can stick to. Keeping those small promises to yourself, are it's like baby steps, help you to build upon them. And once you realize, well, I can do that. Okay, so
Mhm.
now maybe I can do this big scary thing. Maybe it's breaking up in a relationship. Maybe it is looking for a new job. Like, maybe it is going out and just going out in the world and meeting new people. But those are big and scary. So
Mhm.
maybe we start with, I'm going to read one chapter in this book today, like this self help book or whatever. You know what I mean?
10 minutes. I'm going to give
10
myself
minutes,
10 minutes.
10
Or, I'm
minutes.
not going to drink coffee today. Okay, that's going to be a hard one. But I'm
Yeah.
going to increase my water intake by 40, I don't know, whatever ounces you want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
celebrate them and celebrate those wins, because
Yes.
yes, they're baby steps, but they're the steps that get bigger and easier and bigger, and then a new one starts, and it's a layer, a layer, a layer, and it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So keeping, again, those small promises end up being big promises eventually. And it's just a way to rebuild the trust in yourself. And it's so important. It's so important.
And I think this might be a good topic for next week or whatever, but listening to your intuition
Mm,
to trust yourself,
mhm.
which I could say for years I didn't know I had. Like,
Huh?
I didn't
Yeah.
know was there because I didn't trust myself because of, you know, trauma and all the other crap that you just keep forging forward and living in survival. It's like you don't have time to listen to yourself. I gotta listen to everybody else, and I gotta perform, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do that. And it's like
Right.
that's where you shut down and that's where you shut off.
Yeah.
And to come back to that, well, I don't even know if I ever had it, to be honest, until years now,
Yeah.
to
Right.
stop till I stopped. And I mean, and this is, I mean, even with therapy, right? You need to do something, but then there's another whole process with that. And then it's like you stop for a while and then you start again and then you pick a new therapist. And again, it's like, is that a gut instinct or are they qualified? It's all into it, all just, it's all there. It's all together,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know?
I would say that I think that we all have that that intuition, right? And but what you're saying, what I think you're saying is that most of us are not in tune with our own intuition, and a lot of that is because we're living in that survival mode. And when you're
Mhm.
in that survival mode, they call it a gut instinct for a
Yeah,
reason,
right,
right? Like, there is the gut brain connection, and
right.
that's a real thing. But when
Mhm.
you're in survival mode, you're not able to calm that part of your nervous system, the other part of your
Mm-mm.
nervous system down so that your gut brain instinct can I guess like be
Work.
alive and thrive
Yeah,
and work and all that stuff.
work together, exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, many people don't know that they have this intuition and aren't in tune with it. But I think if you look back, this is where I find it's kind of evidence that it's there. Like if you look back at some of the decisions you've made in your life, and maybe you didn't know why at the time,
Mhm.
but are you able to reflect on that? And then sometimes it's like, oh well, because now you can think, well, that just felt like the next right thing to do or
Yeah,
whatever. And that is
yeah,
an intuition, right? You
yeah,
have that.
yeah. I was trying to think of an example, but I don't have one. A lot of the decisions I made early on were based on, like, a to-do list, you know? Um, conquer that. Oh, okay, well, so, yeah, so, going back to intuition, it was like going to direct sales companies, right? And trying them out and like,
Yeah.
well, maybe this will work, I guess that's a little intuitive right there.
Yeah. I think like, okay, so one of your checklists was to go to college, right?
Of
But
course, yeah.
why did you choose the college that you chose? Like it was probably and maybe you're
Because my friend went there. And it was a good school and it just all worked out. But yeah, go on.
That's funny. No, I was gonna say, but maybe that was part of an intuitive, response. Yeah, I don't know. You know,
Everybody's different, right? And hopefully people are more aware now, and I think they are.
yeah,
Hopefully women, men now in their 30s are more connected, I think, than maybe, women in our generation, my generation or whatever.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know. I'm sure
yeah,
it has to do a lot also with, you know, how you were raised and were you allowed to feel things? Because you have to feel the alignment, you have to feel intuition too. It's not just doing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would say, my gut saved me a lot when I was practicing.
Mm.
Um, And I didn't really know it at the time. We would just call it gestalt. You know?
Okay.
But it's like if I didn't listen to that feeling, like, I think, then I would say that I would have, I worked in the ER, so there was some situations where could have ended up really badly.
Mhm.
And I remember, looking back or at the end of the day or the next day, I'd be like, wow, if I had ignored or listened to other people and ignored what I was feeling inside, that wouldn't have gone that way. That person probably would be a lot sicker or worse off, So we all have it. You just got to tune into it and listen to it, not ignore it.
Yeah, and I think also maybe sometimes that self-doubt, self-trust comes in because you didn't act on it. Like, you knew, like, there's been,
Yeah.
being a parent, things have popped up and it was like, well, I'm not sure. Let me wait for the evidence, because we go into mama bear mode. We want to make sure we're not overreacting and, all this
Yeah.
other stuff. But then, weeks passed and it transformed into another issue. And it was like, well, shit.
I should have listened to
I should have
myself.
listened to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely had that too. Right. But I think that just reinforces the fact that, you have an intuition. You should listen to
Yeah.
yourself from the beginning, you know.
Trust
Trust
yourself,
yourself.
right? Yes.
Trust yourself. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Um, oh my gosh. So, what are some other ways to rebuild self trust?
Taking imperfect action.
Ooh,
Not
no.
knowing we don't know that. We have no idea what that means. Like, yeah, exactly. Not having all the ducks lined up in a row yet, but just jumping forward anyway, right? We don't
Yeah.
know the how, but we'll get there.
Yeah. So that's like trusting that it's just going to work out, trusting that like so that could be a higher level like of trust what like you say the universe, God, whatever you believe in,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But also trusting yourself that
Mhm,
you're going to figure it out. You have what it takes inside of you to make this work even though
mhm.
you're stepping in with it not fully figured out yet.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's okay.
It is
Yeah,
okay.
that's scary, and that's for the control freaks out there, like but
We don't
hey,
know what that's like either.
no, I mean, I'm like, but hey, we're both, type A's as well, and
Mhm,
it takes a lot to be able to let go and of that control
mhm.
and
It
just
does.
do it.
And just do it. It does. It does. It takes a lot to let go. Let go. Let them. I come back to that several times.
Yeah,
Take a breath and let them.
yeah, yeah,
That's it.
exactly. Good.
Trust it's going to work out. And of course, surrounding yourself with supportive people. Like, Erin and I have a lot of people around us that really are rooting for us and that really do help coach us. We're not by ourselves on this journey by any means.
No,
And the gratitude is huge and feeling blessed is huge. I think that we have such awesome, amazing people around us.
yeah. Right. And I would say that, most people have, gosh, support around them if they either just look for it or ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah. See it.
yeah,
It's there. Hmm.
mhm, absolutely.
Ah,
And
yeah.
also reflecting instead of judging. I think we sort of touched
Mm,
on this, like when we were saying, oh man, I should have just trusted myself. Okay. Right. So don't judge like you're learning or that was a new experience have never encountered before and so
mhm,
let's just accept that that we ignored our intuition or went the wrong way. It doesn't mean that you're broken and wrong all the time. Like it shouldn't hope, we the point is to not have it break that self level of self trust that you have,
yeah.
now for the next time.
Exactly. It's a learning experience. Trust grows through consistency. So
Yeah.
keep trying it, not through perfection.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so we have some
some good
reflections.
questions. Yep.
Yeah. For you viewers, you can ask yourselves, um, where have I stopped trusting myself? Yeah, think about that.
That's rough. That's a tough one. Where or when?
Yeah,
What small step would rebuild that trust?
that's good. We just gave
Mhm. We
you
just gave
some
some
ideas.
examples. Hmm.
What decision have I been avoiding? Mm.
Mm.
So that leads to a whole nother thing of like um, sometimes the lack of self, it's avoidance when we don't make decisions. And it is because it's coming from a sense of or a lack of self trust in making, like we talked about before, the right decision.
Hmm.
Right.
And not making a decision also creates a whole other problem too.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Yeah.
right?
It very
At
much
that
can.
moment or down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I'll try to put these in, or I'll put these in our chat. So if you want to refer back to them later, if you want to journal on them, you are more than welcome to. In closing, We want you to think about trust, right? It's not about knowing the outcome. It's about knowing that you'll handle whatever comes.
Yep.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Yep.
That would be
And
good on a
every
post-it.
yeah, true. And every time you listen to yourself and move forward, even imperfectly, you strengthen that trust.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
good. And that's like we were saying, just those many steps forward, those small promises you can make to yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
So, an affirmation to leave you with today is I trust myself to learn, grow, and navigate whatever comes next.
I like that
Yeah, because there's always going to be stuff coming at you.
for sure.
Pew, pew.
Exactly. Uh,
So we hope this helped. If you took a bit of it away, we really hope that, it starts your day in a nice place, maybe throughout the week until we meet again. And we love to hear the comments. Thank you for those who did comment. And have a wonderful day, everyone.
yes, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.